Good morning, Jake. How are you?
Good morning, Pauls. How you doing?
Good. It looks beautiful in your part of the world. As you celebrate another bright, sunshiny day, talk about this new extension, what it means to you to continue to call Minnesota home.
Yeah, very exciting. Gonna have a bunch of cliche answers here, but we really are excited to get to spend another 5 years here. My wife and I, we love the team. We love everything about Minnesota. Just couldn't be happier to get this done.
What was it like for you coming to Minnesota in the first place, not knowing much about it, probably, and then having this community wrap its arms around you? It has to be quite the whirlwind for you over these last few years.
Yeah, I think I mentioned a handful of years ago when you're going through a trade like that and you don't really know if the grass is going to be greener on the other side, and in our scenario, it absolutely was, and we just couldn't be happier.
Feels like not only have you embraced your role on this hockey team, you've embraced your role as being the face of the franchise on the website and doing some of that stuff. How much are you enjoying being able to show your personality away from the ice?
I, it's good. I don't know if we could say face of the franchise. I think there's a handful of guys who are much more deserving of that accolade. But no, it's fun. I'm not on socials or anything either, so I don't actually get to see some of that stuff. But if people like it, people like it. So it's good.
Last thing for me, state of the franchise in the mind of Jake Middleton, going through what you guys did last year, knowing that you're coming into the season, hopefully, knock on wood, relatively healthy as a franchise. How do you feel about this franchise? How this team going into this upcoming season?
That's kind of why you want to extend, right? You believe in the organization, you believe what they got going on, and you really want to see it through. And signing extensions like this allow you to try and see it through. And that's just I'm really happy with where it's at. We're obviously it sucks missing the playoffs, but no excuses. We did have a ton of injuries, but I too I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think there's good things in the future for this franchise, and I'm happy I get to be a part of it and try and see it through.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Kev.
Go ahead, Mike.
Jake, I see you're wearing your Harley shirt. Are you going to go on any long trips now, or?
I've just got to I got to Salmon Arm yesterday afternoon, Salmon Arm, British Columbia. My dad and I rode from Minneapolis all the way here, so we got that, and then I'll ride home.
Wow. How long is
How are you doing? That's not as much travel as you've been doing lately.
I know, that's a good point.
Your Sky Miles got to be through the roof right now.
I am. I'm planning to go to Hawaii and back like 10 times. Jake, just I saw I think on social a picture of you at the concert with Jared Spurgeon the other day. I mean, just how exciting and good is it going to be for you to get Spurge back in the lineup, because obviously you guys have such chemistry.
Yeah, not even well, our chemistry alone. I think people sleep on how good of a player Jared Spurgeon is. And it's kind of like him and Jimmy are the same. You don't appreciate them as players until you're missing them or you're playing with them. You know, they're just tremendous players. Jared especially, he's the leader of the team. His voice carries a lot of weight in our dressing room, and you could feel that was missed in the time he was away. He's a great person, great player, great family. He's someone you need to have back in your lineup, and it'll be tremendous when we do have him back.
And can I just ask you about the start to the season? You know, Bill Guerin's been talking a lot lately, just how imperative it is for you guys to get off to a better start than you did last year, this year. And obviously, I mean, the schedule is pretty tough to start out with 10 of your first 15 on the road. How can you guys prepare for that? And how imperative is it to get off to a better start than you did last year, where it felt like you were chasing all year long?
Yeah, to be fair, the 2 years I've had started here, we were not great starts both years. I do think with the coaching staff we have, it will be imperative, like you said, and I think they're going to show that in training camp, just how ready we have to be to start the year. I haven't looked at the schedule yet. 10 out of 15 to start on the road. That could be a good thing. You know, that's you're not going home to your family, which sucks. And my wife is due right around that time, but we'll figure it out. But no, it's you're on the road, you're all close, you're tight knit. It'll be dinners, it'll be practices. And the only thing you're focusing on is hockey, and I think that'll be a good thing for us to start the year on the road like that and really get after it.
And just lastly, you mentioned that you're starting a family. Are you going to continue to be a Minneapolis type of guy? Or are you going to go out to the cake eater country?
I don't think I'm going cake eater country just yet. I don't, that's not my speed yet. We'll see. We'll see, but not anytime soon. It's not in the plans.
Yeah. Well,
Is Lake Elmo
congratulations.
cake eater?
What's that?
Is Lake Elmo cake eater? Could I go out there?
It might be. We're a little less brow, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, hey, congratulations and definitely have a safe trip.
Thank you. You too. Have fun in Hawaii.
Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, Jake, congratulations, first of all, on the baby and on the contract.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
What excites you most about this organization moving forward as you look ahead to not just this upcoming season, but the length of your contract now?
There's so much to be excited about. I think you saw last year with the prospects that came in with Ogren and Kuznetsov, those guys. They're obviously going to be NHL players. That's exciting. The core group of guys we have, the toughness we have, the ability to fight through things. It's just there's a lot I'm looking forward to seeing through here.
You know, kind of piggybacking off what Mike said, in addition to having a better start, Bill Guerin's been really focused on getting that swagger back. How do you guys identify that in the locker room and get that culture really going from the get-go?
Well, the leadership group does a tremendous job of that. And unfortunately, a handful of those leaders last year were not in the lineup every night. And I think that's going to be a huge help, is having a full healthy squad, a full healthy leadership group. Just everything in that sense will help us get our swagger back, because we know it's in there. You guys know it's in there. You've been around longer than I have. You know that there is the ability to have that swagger and to carry that swagger throughout a season, and just getting back to that is imperative.
And last question for me, what was your favorite ride at Valley Fair?
I am awful with rides. I haven't seen that video yet either, but I'm sure there's a few bloopers of me not looking well or a little white in the face. The wild thing, is that it?
Yep.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The first drop is the worst part. I won't say it's my favorite because none of them were, but it was a good time. I'm glad I did it.
Perfect. Enjoy the rest of your summer, Jake. Congrats.
Thanks, Jesse. See ya.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Jake, when did you leave and start your ride? Like, how long did it take you?
It took 2.5 days for 1,650 miles.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't even know what day it is today. Tuesday? Wednesday? Wednesday. So we left Sunday morning and got in yesterday afternoon.
Was this a celebratory ride, or you had this in the works all
No,
along?
we had this in the works. I'm at my sister's house right now. She lives in Salmon Arm, and my wife and I, we have a wedding in Kelowna on Friday. So it all kind of worked out that we got to come out and visit family and get a wedding and see the mountains. So it was in the works.
A little extra reason though to celebrate, I guess, now.
Yeah, it was nice. Dad got to witness the contract signing at a little diner somewhere in Montana. So that was fun. That was cool.
Jake, just what did you make of last season for you personally? A lot more offensive production, and just where you think you can take your game. Where else do you want to grow as a player, as a defenseman?
I think, well, I wasn't extremely happy with my year last year. Obviously, when there's no team success, you don't really feel there's personal success either. It was nice scoring goals. That was kind of fun. I have to talk to Gorgie after a game in Carolina. He said I should try for 15, and I didn't score for the next 30 some games. Don't tell him I said that, but it was an inconsistent year for me personally, I think, and I'd just like to get back to, that's kind of what I like to do, is be a consistent guy on a nightly basis. You know what you're getting, and that's something I'd really want to focus on going forward here.
This is obviously the longest and most lucrative contract of your career. What would the version of you that was picked last in the draft and that bounced between the minors and slept on the floor, what would that version of you think of you now and what you've accomplished?
He'd probably be pretty proud. Yeah, he'd be happy it all worked out, I think.
And the grind to stay here now, it's probably different than the grind to get here, but the grind to maintain this now, it's different, but there's still probably pressure and motivation now just because you've made it. It doesn't stop, right?
Yeah, the pressure, it's a National Hockey League. There, you got the best players in the world playing in it. There's always pressure. You take a few days off, you feel like you're behind the 8 ball again. That doesn't change in any athlete. We're all competitive by nature, right? So it's everyone in the league is always striving to get better, and it's a day in and day out thing for a professional athlete.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Sarah.
Go ahead, John.
Hey Jake, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, I was wondering with you know, with Spurge being gone and then Jonas was gone for a long stretch, and was there a blue liner you didn't start a game with last year? It seemed like you played with just about everybody.
I do think I got a shift in or a game in with most of the guys. But we got a great defensive core. So when those guys are out, guys stepped up and we just had to figure out a way.
Does it mean, I mean, it's got to be easier to play with the same guy though, right?
It is. You pick up on you reading off your partner, right? So it was different, not difficult, but different at times. And then if you got a lefty on the right side, you're going to end up passing it to his backhand or putting it at a bad
Right.
spot sometimes. So all those things, it is nice to get into a groove with a partner and just kind of being able to read off them and picking up on their nuances. But like I said, if you get enough time with anybody, you should be able to figure them out.
And then I was wondering, you know, you got a new coach in and you got this Trennan. What do you know about Trennan? Like, do you have memories of playing against him or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's a great signing. He is hard to play against. He forechecks like an animal. He finishes every check. Great penalty kill. I only remember watching. I've never been on the power play, but I've watched him kill penalties. Good at that. I think it's a good pickup.
So I guess what I'm wondering is that, you know, the penalty kill struggled last year, and is there any excitement about getting a do-over with that and maybe some new ideas and then a new guy on the kill?
Yeah, absolutely. Breath of fresh air is always nice. New perspective, all those things. I think it'll be, and like I said, we're all competitive. Everyone who's on that killing unit is disappointed in what transpired last year and looking to make up for it coming into this season.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Jake? All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jake. Congrats.
Yeah,
you.
congratulations.